Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel Badbookthief. Asha here. I am back with yet another video, and in this video I am going to talk about some of the spookiest of short stories and novels, because that's exactly what I'm going to read this month. It being the Halloween month, it's October, and we kind of get into the mood of some chilling horror as it is this month. So I spent a lot of time deciding the exact titles I wanted to read, and these are some of the creepiest short stories that I'm going to read. In a few minutes from now, I am going to reveal all these titles to you along with the books. I'm lucky that I found all of these books on Amazon, so I have the actual paperbacks. I am so excited, and I'm going to read all of these books. But before we rush with the books and this video, I want you to subscribe to my channel, and while you are at it, also hit on the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. Did you do that? Some of you already know that I am an absolute horror addict, call it a horror buff, and I don't know what are the other nicknames, titles that you call horror lovers, but I am a person who absolutely loves horror. So I enjoy when I come across really good books, and I bookmark them. I almost have a list ready of all the best horror books to read. Some of them which I was glad to find for my TBR for this month. I had shortlisted them on Amazon from few months ago, and I was lucky that I found them at cheaper rates. So I called for all of these books. Obviously they did cost me a lot, but I'm not one to complain because I finally found those books. The first book that we have is this. So this is Darkness by Ratnakar Matkari, and I have not read this author before. He is an Indian author. This book is originally written in Marathi. It's translated in English by Vikrant Pandey. This is a collection of short stories again, and some of the interesting short stories. In fact, I started reading it a couple of days back. To be precise, it was day before yesterday in the night I started reading it, and I have already finished 6 stories out of 18. So this is a collection of 18 short stories, not more than 3.5, 4 pages long, and these are written brilliantly. These stories are really short and catchy, and with some fantastic twists in the end. So that is something that you look forward to when you come across good writing, and that's probably what's kept me at it. To tell you in short, some of the stories are like there is this boy, a small boy, who can predict the exact date a person is going to die, and that I found was really creepy. Then there's a old woman who knows she is close to dying, but she knows how to cheat death. Now that is something, don't you think? Then we have a ghost who can't stop reliving his suicide over and over again. So these little things at the back that I read really dragged me into investing into this book, and as we speak I am totally invested in this book. So that is Darkness by Ratnakar Matkari, in case if you want to check this book out. Like I said, the link is in the description box below. The next book that we have is this, which is Thomas Harris's The Silence of the Lambs. Now I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about this book. It's also adapted into a movie, and who does not know about Hannibal Lecter? So when I watched the movie and then I got to know that there was a book, and I loved that character so much. So The Silence of the Lambs is about an FBI trainee. It's about a psychopath locked up for unspeakable crimes. It's about a serial killer getting closer to his latest victim. So all of that put together, I think it gives a fantastic thriller, and it's a psychological thriller. It's not exactly supernatural or paranormal horror, but it's horror nonetheless. So I watched the movie, I watched the Hannibal Lecter series, and now I'm going to read this book. The next book that we have on the list is from one of the authors who I so love. I have read almost all of his books. He is an Indian author who is known for writing children's fiction and some adult fiction as well. We are talking about Ruskin Bond. All of us know about Ruskin Bond, and that's the book I'm talking about. So this is the story of Captain Young, and it has some other short stories in the book, but I think the best part about this is these stories are based in the Indian subcontinent and in my own country, and these are from the hill stations of India, because Mr. Bond himself lives in Missouri. So almost all of his stories are set in and around that hill station and the surrounding areas. This book, however, is specifically about the ghost of a British Army officer called Young. He's looking for some whiskey and some conversation in the town he founded. It's also about a schoolboy who is dead and he is leading passengers onto treacherous routes. And then it's about a heartbroken girl who has tried sometime bad, but she seduces men with the sweetest of songs. Isn't that amazing? I mean, isn't that creepy as well? So and then again, it's about skeletons and murdered monkeys and an entire village of the dead. Now that is something. So I wanted to read this book, which is Ghost Stories from the Hill Stations of India by Ruskin Bond. So the next book that we have is this, which is 50 Greatest Horror Stories of the World. And I had to wait a long time for this book because this book wasn't available on Amazon or Flipkart, and those are the only places that I really purchase books from. But I was lucky when a couple of weeks back this became available on Amazon. I ordered it immediately because it consists not one, not two, but 50 greatest short stories of all time, and it contains writings, or rather works, of 25 great authors. Now we've read these authors sometime or the other, but it was an eye-opener for me that some of these authors that I really admire, they also write horror, or they have also tried horror, is something that I didn't know. So I was excited when I found this collection, because it has the likes of Anton Chekhov, it has Arthur Conan Doyle, it has Bram Stoker, it has Swain, Edgar Allan Poe, it has Oscar Wilde, and it's got Washington Irving, it's got Rudyard Kipling, and it's got Mary Shelley, of course, it's got Lovecraft, and as you see, so there are 25 greatest authors of all time, and their collections are included in this collectible edition, which is called 50 World's Greatest Horror Stories. So that's the final book on my list. So that's all the books that I'm going to read this October toward my spooky TBR pile. And I am going to absolutely enjoy reading these books because absolutely I love horror. I'm going to also try and accommodate Pet Sematary, because it's almost become like a ritual for me to read Pet Sematary every October, right since the time I did it for the first time, which was, I guess, 2015 or 14, one of the 2 years. So Pet Sematary from Mr. Stephen King is one, and of course we have always lived in the castle, which is a classic by Shirley Jackson and one of her works that I love most. So that's another story that I'm going to try and squeeze in my October TBR, given I finish this lot. So that's all, guys. Do tell me what's on your list for October. Are you also reading horror? And if you would like to co-read with me any of these books or any of the books that you have on your list, you just have to drop me an email on badbookthief@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to join you. And if there is anything else you want to discuss or talk about, or maybe just have coffee or just have a quick chat, write to me. I'm sure. So that's all. With that, I'm going to end this video. In the comments, you have to tell me what all are you reading for October and whether any of these books are on your list. That's all for now. Once again, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will find me on Instagram as well, the same name, Badbookthief, and every other detail about all of these books that I read and other horror stories that I've read in the past, all of it is available on my blog, which is www.badbookthief.com. So you can catch up with all of that there as well. And I think that's all for now. You take care, be safe, take care of your loved ones, and be happy. That's all. Be reading, be inspiring. Goodbye.